Alright, I'm gonna finish it up with the 6 DUI. Alright, so I get the 6 DUI. And the only reason I'm back is because it's raining today. I'm not doing nothing. I already went to the store. I'm just sitting here. The cats are asleep. I don't feel like packing up no more because, like I said in the earlier videos, we're getting ready to move. But anyway, so 6 DUI. It was 9 years between my fifth one and sixth one. So if you watching this and you didn't see the other two, what happened is I got 6 DUIs, and I would get them like every 2 years. I would get it like I got my first one, and then the second one 2 years later, then my third one 2 years later, and then my fourth one I got a year later, and then my fifth one 5 years later, and now I'm ready to talk about the sixth one, which was 9 years later. Same thing. Drinking. I'm working now. I'm making pretty good too. The cousin and I are riding around. Oh, you know what? Since I'm being transparent, we were riding around. We're actually looking for where we can score some more. It's either Coke or crack at the time. We'd already had some, but we were going out to look for some more. And plus, I had been drinking. So I had asked my boss, this is how desperate I was. I asked my boss for a loan and told them they could just take it out my check when I got paid. Well, they did give me the loan. As after she gave me the loan, we were on our way. We're trying to find whoever we can get it from. And mind you, it's like 12:30 in the morning. So we were riding back. We didn't have no luck finding anybody. So we were heading back. I mean, when I tell you I was about 5 minutes from home, we were heading back and the lights popped on. Me and my cousin. And I immediately, I'd already been through it 5 times before, so I already knew what was going to happen. And I knew this one was going to be this was going to be it. I was going for life. I was going to jail for a long period of time. So, anyways, I go through the, all the testing. They deem me drunk. So anyway, they take me to the jail. No, they take me to the sheriff office actually, and they give me a sobriety test there. And I remember being drunk, and he was like, stand on 1 feet. He was like, heel to toe on the line. I was like, man, I couldn't do this if I was sober. I can't stand on one leg if I was sober. I was like, everything he would tell me to do, I was like, I couldn't do that even if I was sober. He's and then I blew a. I can't remember what I blew, but I know it was high, right? He takes me to jail. I'm so glad that God has brought me out of all this. God, it feels good to not live like that no more. But anyways, he takes me to jail, and for some reason, I must have blocked it out because I don't remember being there. Usually, I go. I don't think I was there long. I felt like somebody came and picked me up. Now that was okay. That was in 2009, May of 2009. I didn't go to court for that DUI until December of 2010. Mind you, that's a year and what? June, July, August, September, October, November. Year and 7 months. Can you imagine going to jail for something you did a year and 7 months ago? I got this lawyer. Everybody said, "Get this lawyer. He'll get you out. He'll get you out. He'll." When I tell you, I went there. I could have. I felt like I was representing myself. All he wanted was the money. Every time I was supposed to pay, he'll go, don't forget you owe me a payment. But then he get in there. This is what the thing that pissed me off. I'm ready to get mad again because I think about it. So we standing there. I'm thinking, well, I paid all this money to him. He gonna get me off at least a weekend or something. The judge said He said something. After so many years, I forgot how many years my heart dropped. You know how they say the years, then they'll say suspend all, but such and such. So the judge said, I'm gonna give you. I feel like he said 10 years because you got to mind you, I did 6 DUI. Luckily, none of them involved nobody else except me. And it wasn't for reckless driving. It was for dumb stuff. When I tell you, it was for the first one I got was because when I pulled out, you're supposed to pull out into the near lane. I pulled out into the far left lane, so like I crossed lane to the far left. So he stopped me for that. That was the first one. The second one, it was speeding actually, and it went downhill from there. The third one I got because I got hot in my ass. I was going to meet somebody, and I believe at the time I didn't know, but now I believe when the Spirit speaks to listen to it. Something kept saying, "Don't go, don't go, do not go." But I didn't listen. I went anyways. But as I got closer to the person's house, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna turn around and go home, right? Mind you, it snowed a lot that year. It snowed a lot that year. So when I went to turn around, I had to go like on the side of the road because the road was like a country road. I had to go on the side of the road to try to make the U-turn to turn around. But why when I put on the side of the road, I got stuck. I mean, I was stuck in the snow, and it was mud and snow, and I just was stuck. I could not move. I'm stuck on this road, nobody around. It's a back road too, so all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I'm not even in the car. I'm in the back of the car trying to push the car out by myself. Like the car was in neutral. I'm in the back of the car, and I'm like hoping I can push somebody out. So when I saw a car light coming, I was like, good, somebody can help me. But then they turned on the lights, it was a cop. Now he didn't know I was drinking. I was like, well, I was getting ready to turn around and go home. And then something I said, have you been drinking? And he could smell it. And then it went downhill. And I thought, well, I was going to beat that because I wasn't behind the wheel, right? And I didn't think after the fact, my brother told me what I should have done, but he was like, "You drove here," and I was like, "Yeah," but I was getting ready to go back home, and then he did a surprise, and then I got my DUI. That's how I got the DUI for that third one. Hot my ass, and then something kept telling me not to go, and then when I finally listened, I got stuck on the side of the road, and I got a DUI. But throughout my life, the Spirit would always speak to me, and I would ignore it. But now, I listen to it. Every time the Spirit speaks, I listen. So if you're out there and you're looking at this, and if you ever decide to do something, and something really inside you is telling you not to do it, don't do it. Don't do it. Anyway, I got sidetracked. So that's how I got the third DUI, and y'all gotta excuse me because, like I've said in my videos, I would get off topic and forget where I was at. So anyway, let's go back to the 6 DUI. So yeah, we were heading home, and I ended up going to jail. Oh yeah, there we go. So I didn't have to go to court for another year and 7 months. So I go there, and the judge said, can't remember how many years it was. It was like maybe 10 years. He said, I'll give you 10 years to spend all but one, right? Immediately I'm thinking, God, oh my God, a year, I don't want to do a year. And so the lawyer looks at me, it's like, considering the fact that's good, 1 year. I said, yeah, that's because you're not doing it. I was hot with him. Anyway, so did I go immediately? Oh yeah, I went immediately to jail. They didn't give me a chance to go home because this is my mom was in the hospital at this time, She had been in there since September. She went in that part surgery and she never came out, and she was just going downhill down here. And I remember I went to see her the night before. She knew about my case, and I was telling her that I remember my exact words. If I get emotional, it's because that was the last time I seen my mom. I said I go to court tomorrow. I said, but I'll be back out because I got a good lawyer and I'm pretty sure I might have to do weekends or whatever, but I'm gonna see you tomorrow. So when the judge said you got a year, immediately I thought, oh my God, I'm not gonna see my mom. That was a hurtful period in my life. Anyways, so they took me into jail. I fell into that depression again. I was like, why? I was like, why, Corey? Why? I'm 6 times, Corey. When are you gonna learn the lesson? But sometimes God lets you go through all that. It took, some people say, well, once they reach rock bottom, it took a lot for me to reach rock bottom, man. 6 DUIs on drugs. I didn't even tell you the story that happened with that on drugs. And then now, my 60 I finally caught up with me. I got a year in there, right? So I go into jail, and I had just literally, I've been with my partner now for 15 years, but at that time, we were only 4 months in. We were only 4 months in. Now, mind you, we've been together 15 years. And I called him on the phone. I said, well, because he was waiting for me to come home, and I was like, but I won't be coming home. They gave me a year. He said, a year? And I was like, yeah, they gave me a year. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I went to myself and I cried. I don't have no problem telling people I cried. I was so hurt because my mom was in the hospital. My mom was my best friend. Y'all have to realize I had a sister. My sister died when I was 15, and so it left me as the only child. And when you hear me say my brothers, that's really my first cousins, but we call each other brothers. Explain that. So I go to jail, and I was in there, and that's when I had time to think. I was fortunate. It was weird. I was in a cell by myself the whole time, and it was weird. And I was like, why is that? But I was in like minimum prison, so it wasn't hard at all. It was very minimum. You had your own shower. Like when people say they go to jail and all this stuff, when I was in there all that time, I never saw one dig. I mean, in the flesh, and I never saw any type of gay stuff happen. So maybe because I was in a county jail in the minimum, but for me, it was just like you were in a place where you couldn't leave. That's all it was. Because we had individual showers. There wasn't no group shower. It had a shower curtain, a shower stall. One person get in. So it wasn't that bad, but I'm not trying to glorify it. But I'm like, so when people be talking about, I'm like, what? Maybe it's in a different jail, but the jail I'm in, it wasn't that bad. So, anyways, I go into jail. Immediately, I'm looking in the handbook to see what can I do to shorten my time. Because you do certain things, you get certain credit for it, and you can shorten your time. When I tell you, I was sentenced to 12 months. I went in December 10th of 2010. I got out June 22nd, 2011, because I took alcohol classes when I was in there. I volunteered in the kitchen. I volunteered to do trash work. I did everything, anything I could do to take the time off, and that's what I did. I did all of it, and that cut my time down by like 4 months. After that, oh, I went in there December, January, February, March, April. Now, meanwhile, my partner was going to see my mom every day. He was giving me updates at the hospital. Him and my aunt would go on the weekends. He would give me the update. And then I got the call that my mom's condition was worsening like a month before she passed. And then I get the call that April 6th that my mom had passed. Now, I'm in jail. Right. I don't know what kind of magic my family pulled. I don't know what kind of magic my family pulled. To this day, I don't know what they did. But do you know the jail allowed me? She died on April 6th. Oh, yeah, she died on April 6th. I had to go through that all by myself. But the jail did allow me to attend my mother's funeral. I'll never forget that day. That day, it was such a rush because I was like an hour away from where my mom lived. So they had to come get me from where I was at. Then had to go back up there, which was another hour. I literally ran and when I got there just in the time to see my mom before they closed the casket. And I went up to the casket and I whispered in her ear, "I'm here now." And I made a decision that that was going to be it for me. That was going to be it. I couldn't do it no longer. I was so tired of going to jail. I was so tired of probation officers. I was so tired of constantly having to report to this person, that person, this person, that person. It was so tiring. And then the help from my partner. I was so glad I met him. God will put people in your life just in the right time. Hear me again. The way it worked, I'm gonna tell you how it worked. I met my partner over the summer, but we didn't make it official until like that September. That August prior to the September, my mom ended up getting sick and in the hospital. So my mom goes in the hospital, and I meet my partner around the same time. So we started talking. So my partner was going with me to see my mom in the hospital every weekend because I'm a cosmetologist. So I would go and make sure my mom's hair was done. I would cornroll it every weekend. Cornroll, the nurses would come in and be like, "Oh, that is so sweet. You doing your mom's hair," and she would be so excited to tell them that I'm doing her hair. Anyways, when I got the call that my mom passed, oh my God, you'll find out that I'm a spiritual person, but I never forget I was in my cell. And right after they had called me and told me my mom passed, I went in my cell and I was standing there and I could feel, here's my arm, I could feel like here and on this side and here. I felt like someone was hugging me. I am not lying. I felt like somebody was literally hugging me, and I took that as that was my mom. You will find out that I get spirit when I get filled with the spirit. I'm not a shouter, but I'm a crier. When I feel the spirit moving, I will shed a tear. But and I made a decision. Oh, right before my mom got sick, she said to me, "I've been praying for you and praying. One day you're going to get it together, and I'll be glad when you do." And you know, I'm 53 now. It took up to the age of 38 for me to get my life together. And that's when I started changing my ways with the help of my partner. So I said all this to say sometimes you gotta go. God has you, God has already predestined your life, but sometimes we take off roads because we figured out that we knew a better way of getting there and we can get there quicker. But you always end up back where God needs you to be. And sometimes you be like, God, why is this going? Why are you doing this to me? And I used to say that all the time. God, why are you doing this to me? Why is this happening? And I'm older now and I realize God will allow you to go through things over and over and over and over and over again until you learn the lesson. So take it from me, 21 years on drugs. Once I start telling y'all that story, I got in trouble with that too. The 60 DUIs. I mean, I kept doing these things over and over and over and over. That's what insanity is. It's insane to keep doing something over and over again. It is. But until you grasp and figure out what the root of it is, you're going to continue doing it. So I got on my knees, and I never forget. I could imagine like a white flag, and I say, God, that song, I surrender all. I said, God, I surrender. I done fought every battle I can fight. I can't do it no more. And I'm telling you, instantaneously, my life began to change. So my past might look rocky and all that. And people have a way of trying to remind you of, oh, you think you better than that. But I remember when, but honey, don't let that take you back. Because God took you through that to get you to where you are now. And that's why I'm able to speak to people and tell them right now, you might feel like you're going through something. You feel like everything is going against you. You feel like, I'm going to tell you something. When you're in life and you feel like, and you ever been like things can be going smooth, right? And then all of a sudden, it feel like stuff start happening, one thing after another, all at one time, and it feel like, oh my God, God, why is this happening now? Trust me and believe me. Pray your way through it. There's always a blessing at the end, and it's going to be rough. Sometimes it gets so rough, you be like, I don't know if I can make it.